Introduction. Hi, good morning, everyone. We welcome everyone for the session on understanding financial aid and scholarship for university applications. We have Mr. Devesh Lathi from Next Genius Foundation. They have been supporting students in accessing global education through scholarships and many other support. It's not just limited to that. Today's session, we'll cover the cost of studying abroad, scholarships, and financial aid, along with the guidance on building the strong profile which is needed for college applications. We will conduct 15-20 minutes Q&A towards the end of the session to provide information and break the myths. But in case any parent has any query, you can keep typing your questions in the chat box. Over to you, Devesh. We can start the session.
Thank you so
much for.
Yes, thank you so much, Apurva, Shelja, Kunskap School and team for having me here. I'm excited to be talking about the cost of education, financial aid, scholarships with all of you. And over the course of the next 45-50 minutes, I'll tell you about what would it cost to study in the US, UK, Canada, Europe, and India. Then we'll talk a little bit about what are some of the special, unique scholarship opportunities in all of these countries and universities in these places. Then I'll briefly touch upon the Next Genius Scholarship Program, the program that we run, where we support students with scholarships. And finally, I'll provide you 3 tips on how to make a competitive scholarship application. So excited to be here. So happy that I had an opportunity to talk with all of you. Let's get going. When it comes to the cost of studying abroad or maybe studying within India as well, there are 2 different kinds of headers which we can look at in terms of cost. Number 1 is the tuition, which is usually paid in 2 or 3 installments. And the second kind of expense is a living expense, which covers your room and board. So that is your housing and your meals. Uh, you need to take care of your travel and personal expenses. Health insurance is a big cost. Books are a big cost. And then there are some incidental and unplanned expenses that you need to take care of. So in the next few slides, you will see some charts where I'll show you the costs for multiple countries and the different kind of colleges that are there in those countries. So there is a lot of information. There is a lot of numbers and text on those slides. Feel free to take screenshots so that you can have that information with you to review it later. Yeah. Of course, this session is also being recorded and you can watch the recording later as well. So let's start off with, before starting off with the cost, a few things that you need to know is different countries have different programs have different costs associated. In most cases, the cost of studying medicine is much higher than other programs, number 1. And then there are always some specialized programs where the cost might be different. The cost that I have collected and that I will be presenting now is last year's cost. You need to, costs change every year. Next year, the cost will be 5% more or so. And I have also tried to gather the average fees for different programs, which means, for all of these values that you will see, it will be different. Different courses, different colleges. You can consider that there will be 5 to 10% variation depending upon which college you are going to. Also, currency fluctuates. Every year, the value of Indian rupee changes compared to foreign currency. So you need to pay attention to those factors as well. And final thing is some programs are 3 years, some programs are 4 years. So while you are calculating the overall cost, while you're calculating the cost for the total 4 years of undergraduation, you should know that some programs you will need to pay for 3 years and some programs you'll need to pay for 4 years. Okay, so let's start off with the US. And now you'll see many such charts over the next few slides. Number one is there are different kinds of universities that are there in the US. There are private research universities, there are liberal arts colleges, there is public universities, and then there are community colleges. The total tuition fee, the orange part represents the tuition fees, and the blue part represents the living expenses. So the total tuition fees of studying at a private research university, like a research university is like, let's say, Harvard or NYU or Stanford or Syracuse University, the tuition fees is almost $70,000 now. And the living expenses, which includes all those things that I mentioned earlier, room and board, your books, insurance, travel costs, etc., can go up to $25,000. So just when you see at that overall fees at a private research university in the US, university like
Hello.
Harvard, BU, Stanford, MIT kind of universities, the cost can go up to $100,000, which is almost 80 lakh rupees per year. These are all costs per year and not per for all the 4 years. Same way, when you look at liberal arts colleges, colleges like Harvey Mudd College, Union College, Trinity College, the tuition fees is in the range of $65,000 to $70,000, and the living expenses are in the same range as $25,000. So this also will go up to almost $90,000, which is about 80 lakh rupees right now as we talk. Public universities like UMass Amherst, State University of New York, College of Charleston, Purdue, all of these places, the tuition fees is at the lower end, but they don't offer scholarships. Places like Georgia Tech also, they don't offer lots of scholarships to international students. So while their tuition fees is in the range of $40,000, there are fewer scholarships, is what you need to know. Living expenses continue to be around $25,000. So that's a 65K total cost. And then finally, there's something called as a community college where you can study 2 years at the community college and then transfer to a proper degree granting institution. So when you study 2 years over there, you pay a tuition fee which is much lower. The tuition fee at a community college is much lower compared to other different kinds of colleges. So I don't want to go much deeper into this. We have a lot to cover, but just take a snapshot, a screenshot of this one, so that you will have a general idea of what kind of money it would, uh, what kind of fees or what kind of money you would need to pay or invest into education when you plan of studying in the US. Of course, there are lots of scholarships available. No one pays the $95,000 fees. Very, very few people who go to, let's say, a Harvard or a Stanford where there is no scholarships for international students. I mean, Harvard has need-based scholarships, but very few people actually end up paying the full $95,000 fees. Let's move to UK. Again, now I've divided the universities into universities which are located in a city, Oxford and Cambridge, universities which are located in smaller towns like University of Bath, University of Bristol. Then there are some less selective universities. I mean, universities where many students would easily get accepted into. What kind of fees would they charge? And then medical program. The thing about the UK is their fees varies by the program. Engineering programs or programs which require labs are more expensive, or the fees is higher. Whereas programs where there is no lab requirement, programs in sociology, psychology, those kind of programs, the fees is slightly lower. Yeah. Uh, Here you see the tuition fees of colleges like UCL, University College London, Imperial College, London School of Economics. The fees, and this is the fees of a specific program. Let's say it's the fees of their engineering program, is about 42,000 pounds. Their medical program, their medicine program, which will be much higher. Their programs of humanities will be a little less compared to this. Living expenses in the UK are somewhere around 20,000 pounds when you live in a city, in a large city like London or Manchester. When it comes to Oxford and Cambridge, again, their engineering programs would be somewhere around 42,000 pounds. Living expenses would be in the same range of 20,000 pounds. When you go to a smaller town, for a comparable program, for a program that, let's say, you take at a UCL versus the program that you take at the University of Bath, the fees is slightly lower. The fees for an engineering program at a University of Bath or a Bristol would be a little less than when you study at in a city, and same goes for their living expenses. For universities which are lesser known but are still very nice, they're over 100-year-old, let's say University of Dundee, the fees is about 22,000 pounds and the living expenses are about 12,000 pounds. So if you want to study in the UK, but you want to save lots of money at an undergraduate level, and you're okay with, let's say, not worrying about the brand right now, because these universities of Dundee and all of those older universities in the UK are still fantastic. They still offer a world-class education, but at almost half the cost, almost half the price. Yeah. And then medical program are completely different. They are much more expensive. You need to plan much more in advance. You need to pay almost 80 lakh rupees per year to study medicine in the UK. Canada, again, I've divided it into universities in city, UBC and U Toronto, University of British Columbia, University of Toronto, which are in cities. The fees is 60,000 Canadian dollars. Living expenses are about 20,000 Canadian dollars. It goes to almost 80 lakh rupees or about 50 lakh rupees per year to study at UBC and U Toronto. To study at a university which is in a smaller town but is still very selective, university like Alberta and McMaster, the tuition fees is slightly lower. The living expenses are also lower because you are now in a smaller town. When you go to a less selective university, I keep saying less selective, which means universities where the acceptance rate is much higher. Let's say 70-80% students get accepted. University like University of Saskatchewan, the tuition fees is close to a university in a small town, about $50,000. The living expenses are slightly less, but it's comparable. And finally, when you go to a community college in Canada, which is like a 2-year college, a 2-year program, like Seneca College or George Brown College, the tuition fees is much lower. Living expenses are comparable because you are living in a large city. You are living in Toronto or Montreal or some of the larger cities of Vancouver, let's say. So the living expenses will continue to be around $20,000, $25,000 Canadian dollars, but the tuition fee at a community college will be much lower. See, I am not giving you any advice on which college to go to. I'm just giving you a practical information about what it would cost. Where to go, I think that is where you need to connect with your counselors. They can guide you about how to select a college, where to study. And I am not saying go to a community college in Canada. First, research it well, speak with your counselors, and then think about where to go. Yeah. Singapore. In Singapore, there is an interesting uh, scheme that the Singaporean government runs, which is called as the tuition grant scheme, which is available to international students from Asia, and it has certain requirements. But if you are eligible for the tuition grant by the Singaporean government, then your fees to study at a NUS will be about 20,000 Singaporean dollars compared to 40,000 when you do not get that tuition grant. Yeah. Living expenses will be around 20,000 Singapore dollars. Singapore dollars is somewhere around 60 rupees, 60 to 65 rupees. So I've made that conversion over here as well. You can see 40,000 Singapore dollars is about 28 lakh rupees, Indian rupees. Medicine program is expensive in Singapore. It's about 100,000 Singapore dollars, including the room and board, which is almost 70 lakh rupees. And that is with the tuition grant. Without the tuition grant, it will be much more expensive. When it comes to Europe, I've tried to gather information about uh, Europe and West Asia. I have 4, 5 different kinds of institutions. First is the American University of Paris, where the tuition fees is about $40,000. And while in Europe they use euros, but I try to keep dollars, US dollars, because then we are also covering Middle East or West Asia. So I thought having everything in dollars made more sense. Yeah. To study in Paris, the living expenses will be very high. You almost need to pay about 20 lakh rupees per year. Same way when you study in Madrid or in a large German city, let's say Berlin or uh, uh, I'm forgetting the name of other large German cities, but let's say if you study in these larger cities, the living expenses would be almost 18 to 20 lakh rupees. Uh, in private universities, the tuition fees can range from 25 to $40,000. But in public universities, and Germany typically offers a tuition-free education. Public universities in Germany, of course, it has certain requirements, and I will not go into that. But if you get an opportunity to study in Germany at a public university, the tuition fees can be almost zero. Living expenses, of course, will be there, but the tuition fees can be close to nothing. Yeah. Then there are some American institutions who have set up their campuses in West Asia, like the NYU Abu Dhabi and Northwestern in Qatar. Their tuition fees is similar or same as their American counterparts. NYU's main campus charges around $70,000. Same way NYU Abu Dhabi charges same tuition fees. Living expenses, however, would be lower when you study at a Northwestern in Qatar versus the Northwestern's US campus. In the US, you'll be paying about $25,000 towards your living expenses, whereas in Doha you will pay close to 12,000. So while you will still get a Northwestern degree, but it will be at a much lower cost uh, as far as the living expenses are concerned. Yeah. India. When it comes to India, there very quickly you'll see. Let me show you the cost of education at, let's say, Saint Xavier's in Mumbai. The tuition fees is less than 1 lakh rupees. It's almost 60 to 80,000 rupees. Living expenses in 10,000 rupee per month, you can have a very nice life, student life. As students, you can live very well in Mumbai. Yeah. In shared accommodation, you're not going to get lavish one rooms, but in shared accommodations, you can live very nicely in Mumbai. In IITs and IISC, the tuition fees is about 3 lakh, living expenses is about 1.2 lakhs. At a private institution like BITS Pilani, tuition fees is close to 5 lakhs, and living expenses are close to 1.2 lakhs. At the new age liberal arts institution like Ashoka, Kriya, Flame, Plaksha, Nayanta University, the tuition fees is about 10 lakh, living expenses is about 2.5 lakhs, total cost is about 12.5. And to study medicine, uh, see, again, there is a it could vary widely, but at a typical Manipal or DY Patil, if you get accepted without a donation or without the need of a NRI quota, then the tuition fees is about 25 lakh and the living expenses about 2.5 lakhs. So about uh, 27 lakh rupees per year, 27 to 30 lakh, which means about 1.2 crores for the 4 to 5 year program. Let's talk about the different kinds of scholarships available. There are different kinds of scholarships that are offered by the colleges or by external organizations. The scholarships offered by the colleges uh, or the type of scholarship or aid which is offered by the colleges includes need-based financial aid, merit-based scholarships. Need-based means how much can your family afford. It depends upon your family income. What is your need? If this is the total cost of attendance and if you can pay, let's say, this much, then this is the amount of need-based financial aid. It does not depend upon your profile or your academics in most cases. On the other hand, a merit-based scholarship is a scholarship which is based on your merit, your academics, your overall profile. How good fit are you in a specific college? That will determine your merit-based scholarship. There are scholarships offered by external organizations, or there are scholarships facilitated by external organizations like Next Genius, Tata Foundation, Inlax Foundation. Uh, Tata offers a scholarship at Cornell. Uh, so those kind of scholarships are also available that you can look at. You can also look at education loans. Some colleges offer grants, which you can look into. There is federal aid available. Federal aid is an aid which you can get if you're American citizens. American citizens can get money from the government of the US. Same way, if you are a German citizen or a citizen of a different country, those countries would have special scholarships or aids available for the citizens of that country. Many colleges and universities have work study options or on-campus jobs where you can work in the library, where you can work in uh, their cafeterias or their reception, or we can work as a TA or a RA, teaching assistant, residential advisor. Those kind of jobs are very popular with students, and that can help bring down the cost slightly, not a lot. And when I say slightly, you can think of it as pocket money, let's say $2,000, $3,000 per year, not more than that. Then there are some government funded scholarships where, and I'm going to talk a little more about that in the coming slides, where you can get scholarships in places like Sciences Po in France. Germany has scholarships that they offer. Singapore has the tuition grant scheme. And then finally, there is athletic scholarship, which is available only in the US and only in a special kind of institution, which is called the NCAA Division One institution, where if you are a national level athlete or a state level athlete, or you are one of the best in soccer or some of those sports, you can gain access to those athletic scholarship. I'm going to elaborate a little more on the kind of scholarships which are available in all these countries. In the US, the merit scholarships are offered by all top universities, which includes BU, NYU, Harvard College. Colleges which are more selective, the, the more selective a college is, the more competitive the scholarship will be. Yeah. Who doesn't offer merit-based scholarships? Public universities like Georgia Tech and Purdue won't offer merit scholarships. Need-based financial aid. Need-based financial aid are offered by some top colleges like MIT, Harvard, Princeton, Yale, Amherst College. Once again, more selective the college, the more competitive the aid would be. Who doesn't offer need-based financial aid? Need-aware colleges do not offer need-based financial aid. And when you research a little more about the colleges, you will know that some colleges are need-aware. When the colleges which are need-aware would mention on their website that we look at your finances before considering you for admissions, which means if your finances are not in line with our expectations, it's highly likely that we will decline you. Yeah. So need aware colleges do not offer need based financial aid. Then there are scholarships offered or facilitated by private trusts like Next Genius Foundation, Tata Foundation, the Aga Khan Foundation, Davis scholarships. These private foundations, the scholarship that they offer are always limited to specific institutions. For Next Genius, I will provide you with a list of colleges where you can win scholarships. The Tata Foundation offers scholarships at Cornell, Davis scholarships, which are only available to a specific group of students, but and are also only available to a specific group of institutions. Then there are athletic scholarships which are offered at NCAA Division One and Division schools or colleges like Georgetown, University of Washington, Duke, etc. Who doesn't offer athletic scholarship? Division Three schools. Uh, and I will not go into Division One, Two, and Three right now. We need to cover a lot of ground, so I'll just try and I want to leave something for you all to research about students and parents. So I think maybe take screenshots and research a little more at your own end. In the UK, merit scholarships are offered by almost all UK universities. To name a few, there is UCL, Warwick, Imperial College, and it's always the common phrase is more selective the college, the more competitive the scholarships will be. In the UK, the scholarship ranges are typically low. They only offer somewhere between £500 to £3,000, or maybe up to £5,000 of scholarships to students. Especially in the UK, you need to pay attention to whether it is a one-time award, which is like just for the first year, or does it cover all 4 years? All universities will have a web page where they'll mention about funding or bursary or scholarship opportunities for the student. That is a page you should research very closely. University specific scholarships. There is a Reach Oxford Scholarship for Developing Countries, and these are all the scholarships that are available online on the university website. So you can actually go and you can check out the university website and you can find more information about how to apply to these scholarships. There is a Transform Together Scholarship for international students at Sheffield Hallam University. There is a Dennis Holland Scholarship at UCL. There is Edinburgh Global Undergraduate Math Scholarships available to students who are interested in mathematics and have outstanding ability. So it's available for international students as well. Canada, scholarships are offered by all the Canadian universities. To name a few, there's UBC, Toronto, York, McMaster, Carleton, Calgary. Some of the less See, an interesting thing about Canada is that some of the less popular universities which are not so well known, the tuition fees itself will be much lower, 3 lakh to 6 lakh rupees itself, which is much lower than what you would pay to study at a private liberal arts university in India. But again, whether those universities are great, whether you would be a good fit into those universities, that is something you must explore. That is something you must discuss with your counselors. Uh, you can explore university specific scholarships at all the university pages. See, but you must pay attention to the fact, and it is true for all the countries, that the deadlines will vary. There might be separate deadlines for university scholarships, and that is your responsibility as students to look at and to research the college and to research the scholarships and deadlines, and then apply to those in a timely manner. Yeah. Also pay attention whether a scholarship is a one-time award or renewable every year. UBC devotes almost $35 million annually towards need-based and merit-based scholarship, which is offered on the recommendation of the counselor. Same way, U Toronto has a Lester B. Pearson scholarship, which they offer to only 37-year students every year. York University has a merit-based scholarship which is worth $60,000 to $100,000 across 4 years. And then there's entrance scholarship for American and international high students at Carleton, which is up to 4,000 Canadian dollars per year. There are more scholarships, but that is something you need to research. I'm just here to provide you an overview of the different kind of scholarship opportunities. Europe and West Asia, there's scholarships in Germany. It's called the DAAD, the DAD scholarship program, where there's multiple kinds of scholarships, and there's a whole list of scholarships that you can look at the DAD website. Then there is a Deutschland stipendum, which covers 300 euros per month for top international students. The Denmark government, the Danish government offers scholarships to international students for a specific set of participating universities when you want to study in Denmark. So you could get a scholarship which would cover your tuition fees as well as living expenses. And similar scholarships which are offered by the government, by the European governments, are offered in not European government, but the government of those specific countries like Netherlands, Finland, and Sweden are also offered. You need to look at those websites and research a little more, but there are opportunities available. When it comes to university-specific scholarships, Sciences Po, which is one of the best institutions in France, offers 50% of your tuition fees would be covered by the French government if you get accepted into Sciences Po. AU Paris offers up to 100% tuition fee scholarships to IB students. Northwestern in Qatar, up to 100% tuition fee from the Qatar Foundation through their financial aid application. All these scholarships are available at specific institution, and there would be more that we could look into. Singapore, the most interesting scheme in Singapore which is available for international students is the tuition grant scheme. Students need to apply for the tuition grant scheme, and they need to sign a tuition grant agreement in which they will be obliged to work in Singapore for 3 years upon graduation. Yeah. Rules keep on changing. So review the latest rules before you apply for these scholarships. And the tuition grant scheme is available at NUS, NTU, SMU, SUT of and Design, Singapore Institute of Technology, and SUSS. University specific scholarships. NUS and NTU both have scholarships available for international students. They also have scholarships available for students from the Asian countries. Yeah. Okay. I'll pause it for a moment before we talk about the next senior scholarship program, and I'll just take a break from speaking as well for 1 minute, and then I'll try and answer a couple of questions before we talk about the next senior scholarship program.
I think there is a question, Devesh, in the chat box, which is what about Hong Kong? I hear that they're promoting Indian students admission. Is that true? Second is this the information is for an annual fee? And they want to know about Australia as well. And
So
if
Hong Kong
there's
and
one more,
Australia.
if you could share the Europe slide. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm just going back to the Europe slide. All these fees are yearly fees. Yeah. Which means you need to multiply it by 3 or 4 before you come to the actual cost. Yeah. Hong Kong and Australia, honestly, I have not done enough research to provide you important, relevant information. So I'll not touch upon that. Yeah. I am not so well aware of Hong Kong and Australia or other countries. That's why I just try to cover a limited set of countries on this presentation. There is a question about, could you elaborate if sports scholarships in the US, sport-based scholarship in the US for undergrad for sports not covered under NCA. There are very few colleges which would offer a sports scholarship which are not for NCA Division 1 or Division 2 schools. Yeah. If there is only NCA Division 1 and Division 2 schools would offer sports scholarships. NCA Division 3 schools would not offer sports scholarships in most cases. But of course, sometimes, what happens is if there is a university team, if a college, let's say, has a football team, and you are a fantastic footballer, and the football team is looking for, let's say, a goalkeeper, for example, and you are an excellent goalkeeper, you can reach out to the coach and say, I here are some of my videos of keeping the goal. I would like to join the team. Please consider me for a scholarship. There is no harm in trying, but the chances of winning a sports scholarship is higher when you go to a NCAA Division 1 or Division 2 school. Yeah. Sorry. Let me go ahead. Let me talk a little bit about next genius, the next 5 minutes, and then I'll try and answer some more questions towards the end of the session. And I'll also give you 3 tips. Sorry, Apurva, you're saying something.
Yeah. Again, they have repeated. If you can share the Europe scholarship slide again, please.
Oh,
I think
Europe
they want the
scholarship.
screenshot.
I opened a different slide. Okay, so here's the Europe scholarship slide.
Yeah, sorry.
So please feel free to take a screenshot and then we'll move ahead.
And what we can also do is that the regions that we are not covering right now, or the questions which are not covered right now, parents can write these questions to their respective schools' career counselors, and we can get back to them as soon as possible.
Yes. Perfect. So I'll get going now. Um, Next Genius Scholarship Program. So we read about so many different kinds of scholarships which are offered at different in different countries and in different institutions. Same way, the Next Genius Scholarship Program is also a scholarship platform where we connect high school students from India with scholarships to study in the US, Europe, or West Asia and India. We have been around for almost 12 years now. We have been offering these scholarships for almost 12 years. And over these last 10 to 12 years, we've had almost over 300 students have won our scholarships from 240 plus schools. They've come from metros, tier 2, tier 3 towns. Almost equal number of boys and girls have won these scholarships. The average scholarship that a student wins when they apply for the Next Senior Scholarship Program is almost $40,000. So those are some numbers for you to see. Let me share with you the story of one of our scholars, Gyana Srivastav. So to take you through her journey, Gyana Srivastav went to a school called the Cathedral and John Connon School in Mumbai, and she applied to us for scholarship when she was in grade 12th. So the our scholarships are available only for 12th graders. When you're in 12th, you can apply to us for scholarships, and you will be given a list of colleges from which you will select your top three choices. We will then assign you one college. So we assigned Wheaton College to Gyana. After reviewing her profile, we said that okay, you should submit your college application to Wheaton College. She submitted her full college application to Wheaton College, and then she interviewed with us. She interviewed. We had a scholarship interview with her, and at the end of that interview, she was awarded a full tuition scholarship. Fast forward 4 years, she started working. She did lots of interesting things on campus. She was a part of lots of clubs. She did multiple internships. She then, upon graduation, got a job at as a mental health specialist in McLean Hospital in Boston. And then she went to do another job simultaneously as a research assistant at Beth Israel Medical Center in Boston. Right now, she is at Harvard pursuing her master's at the T.H. Chan School of Public Health. How can you win the Next Genius Scholarship? If you are in grade 12 and if you are looking for scholarships, you can apply to us on our website, which is next-genius.com. And once you apply, you will be invited to submit a profile where we ask you about your academics, your extracurricular activities, your finances, your test scores, if you've taken SAT, ACT, 10th and 11th grade scores. And then we ask you to shortlist 3 colleges from the list of colleges on our website. You will shortlist your top 3 choices, and then we will assign you one college. You can either say yes or no to that college. If you say yes, you will then submit your full college application to that college by January 1, and then you will interview with us by January 17th, January 18th. And at the end of those interviews, you win the scholarships. Our scholarships change lives. We have helped hundreds and hundreds of students over the past 10 to 12 years win these scholarships, and all these students are doing exceptional things in their lives now. On our website, you will see the list of all the Next Genius scholars and what they are doing right now. And you will see some exceptional, almost all of them are doing some wonderful things. They are actually at places like Yale, Columbia, Harvard, NYU kind of universities, or they are working in Google, Meta, KPMG, Morgan Stanley kind of companies. So that's a little bit about Next Genius. Happy to share more. Now, the final part is where I will talk with you about 3 tips on how to win a scholarship. See, I don't have a magic wand where I can say, ta-da, and you want to win a scholarship. No, but every student is unique. Every application is unique. every institution has a unique, different way of offering the scholarships. You need to, first of all, plan early and research well. You need to start your research soon. I believe many of you here on this call would be younger in, let's say, 10th or 11th grade. And even if you're in 12th, don't worry. But if you are in 9th, 10th, 11th, you have time with you. You have time at your side. You can start planning early. You can start making the list of your colleges early. You can start identifying which country do you want to go to, which universities do you want to go to, and then deep dive, research about them. Ask, get in touch with the admission officers, get in touch with your counselors. You have a fantastic counseling team at your school, so get in touch with them, ask them questions, start doing your own research. Nothing can beat your own independent research. Yeah, there's so much information out there. You can simply put a question in chat gpt and you will get a lot of information, but always verify that information with the actual website. Not everything that you get on chat gpt is correct. Yeah, a lot of times you might get incorrect information. Don't rely on it completely, but there is nothing stopping you from starting early. And when is the right time to start? The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time to start is right now. So start right now. Start doing your research right now. Yes. Second is connect with the admission officers. When you have your eyes set on a specific college or a specific university, reach out to that specific college, reach out to the admission officers of that college. If you do not have access to the admission officers, if you can't find their email IDs, then try to find the alumni from that college. Try to find people who have gone to that college or university and reach out to them. They are the best ambassadors. They are the best. They could be the best mentors and guides for you. And don't hesitate in reaching out to these people on LinkedIn or Instagram. What is the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is they do not respond to you. Nothing else. Yeah. But if you reach out to 10 people and even if two of them reply, your job is done, right? You get to know much more deeply about two institutions, two colleges. You get to know about their experiences. You get to know about how they got in and how they got a scholarship at that college. Yeah. And the third one is work with your high school counselors early. Start working with your counselors early in the process. Do not sort of delay that engagement. Do not delay in asking them questions or hesitating in approaching them. They are very, very helpful, and I can speak for all the counselors who are there on this call. I know that they're very, very supportive. Apurva, Shelja, Asif, I think I've known them personally, and I know that they work in the best interest for the students. Don't hesitate. सी एक हिंदी की कहावत है, जिसने करी शर्म उसके फूटे करम. बेसिकली यदि आपने हेजिटेट किया क्वेश्चंस पूछने में, it's not going to help you. Yeah. So those are my three tips. See, we can always talk about building a strong profile. There is, there's one more tip actually, which is, if anyone says that academics are not important, run away from them as soon as possible. Yeah. Academics will always be the priority when it comes to getting admitted and getting a scholarship. So wherever you are, whatever academic standing you have, you need to start working on it right now and working towards going up, improving your scores. Yeah. Work very, very strongly on your academics. Everything else is secondary. Your research programs, your internships, your volunteering, your projects, your music and dance are important, but they are secondary. The colleges will look at your scores first. They will not look, and once they've seen your scores, then they'll start looking at other things. Yeah. The first thing an admission officer calculates on is your GPA. And then when they look at your GPA, and then they start looking at your portfolio and other things, right? So those are my two bits. Uh, this is my information. Just feel free to reach out to me over email. I'll be very, very happy to answer your questions. Uh, very quickly, I just want to show you the Next Genius website and the page where we have listed the scholars, so that I'll give you an idea of how to get in touch with scholarship winners. Yeah. Just 1 second. So I'm sharing my screen now. This is our website. This is the Next Genius Scholarship Program website. This is the application process. You can review the application process. You can apply to us. The most important, interesting resource we have is the list of scholars. And here we have linked their profiles to their LinkedIn profiles. So you can actually see what they're doing in their lives. So, you know, and LinkedIn is a great place to connect with students, scholarship winners, admission officers, etc. Yeah. So that's where I'll stop. It's 10:50. We have some time for questions. But once again, let me thank you all. Thanks to the Kunskapsskolan counseling team for having me here. I enjoy talking about scholarships, financial aid, etc. with the students. So thank you for this opportunity. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Devesh. It's always a pleasure to have you. In fact, having worked with you and Next Genius for the last 3, 4 years, I think all of us have learned so much from you, and we're always happy to have you here. We are here for another 5 minutes for any questions that the parents have.
Thank you. Yes. So feel free to put your questions in the chat. I will try to answer as many as possible. So one question is about, please share the deck and recording. Yes, I will send it to the counselors and they will pass it on to you. Okay. Okay, let me ask you a question then. So in the chat, please mention which countries are you applying to? Which country are you? If you could say that I'm considering this country. Uh, okay. Thank you for responding. Students and parents, please put in the chat which country are you applying to? Okay, that's great. Okay, so we have US, Australia, Singapore, Europe. Okay. Okay, fantastic. UK, Singapore. Thank you. So we have a question here. What should be the approach for a ninth grader? Very important question. Very interesting question. Ninth graders, I think the first thing is let them fail. And what I mean by that is give them many, many opportunities. Let them explore, let them experiment. This is a time where if you experiment and you fail, you won't lose anything. As you grow older, the stakes are higher. There's more to lose. In the ninth grade, give them so many opportunities, exposure of so many things, that even if they fail at some of those things, and it's okay. Yeah. So that's my one tip. As parents, it is our responsibilities to give those opportunities, give an exposure of many, many opportunities to our children. Yeah. Number one. Number two is uh, academics will still remain important. Yeah. So I am not saying that let them fail at school, but let them fail in different kinds of things. Like let them fall on the ground. Let them do participate in a program but not do well. It's all okay. Yeah. Uh, number three is as parents, you can start researching more about colleges. You know your child well. You know what kind of an environment will they thrive in. Yeah. what kind of a country would they thrive in, what kind of a college will they thrive in. So try and explore those kind of universities. It's a great time because you can spend hours and hours of research, hours and hours researching right now. Yeah, you have time.
Devesh, I have one question.
Yes.
Uh, that for some certain countries, excelling in a language also supports in scholarship, such as French or German, right?
Yes.
So, can you just tell us
See,
a bit about it?
yes. See, I think it's important to know the language of the region that you go to. Many countries, especially in Europe, where many programs might not be taught in English, knowing the regional language, knowing the language of that country is important. So if you're planning to go to, let's say, Germany, and if you know that Germany is a place that, we will, let's say, send our child for an undergrad to, uh, start early, start learning that language in grade ninth, because it will take years to develop fluency in that specific language. Same is the case for Japan. Yeah. While in Japan, the fees itself is low, it's $5,000 or so. The tuition fees is about $5,000. Uh, and most courses would be taught in English, but then there will still be courses taught in Japanese. And students who know Japanese are going to do much well over there. So, starting to develop those languages early is going to be very, very helpful. And then there are lots and lots of online tools which you can use. There is a tool called Duolingo where you can learn almost any language. Yeah. So you can start off there and then have a professional teach you. Some of those languages might be taught at your school as a part of your curriculum. You can learn those as well at the school. But learning the languages of the country that you're planning to go to will certainly help with the admission, with scholarships, and definitely with living over there. Yeah, your life will be much more easier if you know French in Paris.
Right. Thank you so much. We have two questions in the chat box. Question
Yeah.
one is, what has been the effect of new administration on applications to the US? And they want to know it in short. And second is, does internship with big tech company help?
Okay, great question. See, uh, the US scenario is changing very, very fast. By the time this video is on YouTube and someone is watching it after 2 weeks, the situation might be completely different. From my end right now, uh, there are two kinds of that this parents are thinking, let's apply to US, but apply to one more country as a backup. And I think that is something the school might, yeah, the counselors might guide you with. But apply to the US if you're very keen on going to the US. Definitely apply to those universities, but keep a backup. Yeah, because if in the last moment, if the visa policy changes, or if let's say, God forbid, you do not get that visa, you will be stuck. So if you are thinking of the US, and if you're not a US citizen, if your child is not a US citizen, then definitely consider applying to other countries as well. Yeah. Uh, I hope that that was a short and sweet answer for that. And if there is something more that you want me to specify on, I can help. I can answer that. Second question is about internships. Does internship with big tech companies help? Of course, yes. The answer is yes, for short. The longer answer is it depends, because there's a lot of things when you get an internship with, let's say, Google or Microsoft or Amazon. Number one is, what kind of a role did you have? What was your learning? Was it just a certificate, or did you do that internship because for the learning? Always do internships for learnings. Of course, you can mention that in your resumes and in your profiles, and it helps. It helps in admissions. But just don't do an internship only for a certificate. Do an internship for the learning. Yeah. Internship with big tech company helps, yes, for sure. But what is your motive? Why are you doing it? That is something you should be true to yourself, that I'm doing this for this specific reason. Yeah. How about Finland as a backup? See, I think Finland has some fantastic institutions. They have some great universities, and the cost of education is also lower over there. I have not done deep dive. I don't have a lot of information about Finland, so I will not be able to answer that very sort of in a very relevant manner. But as far as I know, Finland is a great place to study. Yeah. Okay. So 10:59. We are almost on time. But maybe one last question, and then maybe we can close. Yeah. All right. I think we've tried to cover everything. So, yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this Saturday morning. And I hope you found this helpful.
Yeah. Thanks, Devesh.
Thank you. Thank you so much.